you going through a situation where you feel nothing's shifting and people just don't seem to be changing, watch this video. It could be the answer you're looking for. Namaste and welcome back to another video. My name is Matt from Ghana Classics, where we learn together, we grow together in the sight of the Creator, God Himself. So today I want to speak about no capacity for change, and this is about other people who doesn't seem to be getting what you're about and why you have been making certain changes, and how I want to just give you a bit of tips and hints about how you can overcome this and learn to accept it. But first of all, like, share, subscribe, and let's just jump on this and let's get going with this. It's a beautiful summer's day and it's about 7 a.m. in the morning and everyone's still asleep, so I thought I'd come out and do a video for you guys. I'm feeling inspired this morning, feeling refreshed. So first of all is people, first thing is you need to know that you can't change the way people are. People are going to always remain the same, and people don't, not everybody, but most people do not like change. And that especially when other people who are around them have shifted or have changed. And especially if they've empowered themselves or they've moved up. But the thing is, when that happens, this is where you need to realize and understand that this isn't about your change, isn't about them. That's why it's called your change. This is about you and your change, your direction, your links with your development, spiritual development, self-development, personal development, business development. It depends what it is. Some people are not going to embrace that. You're going to get individuals who love you and support you and are happy for you and they want to be with you because they see the changes. All I can say is, like, sometimes it's not their fault. The people that don't understand your change, they just are not used to being, when you've been a certain way all the time and you have been spoken to a certain way, they find it hard for when you turn out and say, I don't like the way you've been. This happened to me since I was young. I'm the youngest of 5. And this has always happened. I've always been spoken down to and always been thought that I would never achieve much in my life. But the important thing is, right, is that it's no excuse to say, well, you're the youngest, that's how it's always going to be. That, for me, that's just a cop-out. And I've heard that a lot of times. And I want to share with you just not my own personal changes, just things I've seen, obviously, while I've been going through my changes. Because when you go through changes, you recognize other people who are going through those changes or have gone through those changes. People always feel that you're not right when you change, and that they feel threatened by your change. They feel uncomfortable by your change because you are moving to a different frequency. Remember, you are. So when you change, you move up or you move sideways. But you move forward in your change. But what's important about this is that within yourself, you must be comfortable with that change. And I want to reassure you that when you shift, you will pull in other people that will celebrate your shift. Other people step forward. For example, you begin to earn lots more money, you begin to develop yourself and find a new relationship. If you decide to move home into a new area, as long as you follow through and you move on to the next place, you will find other people that will embrace your shift and your change. Because if you remain stuck within this because other people are there, you won't be happy. You will just be doing it for other people. And I can tell you now that if it was them, they will move and they will shift and they will leave you behind and they will empower themselves. Especially, for example, if money came into it, or an opportunity for work, or an opportunity for love, or opportunity full stop, they would move forward in order to benefit themselves, because everybody's about growth and change. There are some that just like to stay safe, just like to stay in the same way of living. That's them, that's them. That's fine. Embrace them. Say to them, I respect you. that's the way you want to be, but that's not the way I want to live. I want to move forward. And if they can't embrace that, maybe it's time for you to just let them go, and move forward yourself. Because why should you be feeling that you are not ready to change, that you should stay where you are? In some ways, that you are not important enough to make that move when you are. Just remember that. That's important. You need to believe in yourself that you are important enough to make those shifts. And the other thing is I want to point out is that you can only change yourself. You will never be able to change them. You may be able to inspire them. You may be able to get them to see it from your point of view, but you would never, ever change them, because that's who they are. They're just going to remain the same. And in some ways, they will show that they embrace your change, your shifts. For example, when I moved and when I changed jobs, or when I changed relationships, you always get the person said, oh, I give it X amount of months or X amount of years, and so on and so forth. Well, for me, I don't like people like that in my life. I just don't like people like that. And for example, say if you meet someone new and then they make you happy, and you either come out of a bad relationship, or you met someone and they're making you feel good about yourself, and it's in the right scenario, and other people are saying to you, well, I'll give it 3 months, 6 months, 10 months, a year, and see how long it lasts, and that it'll be over. You know what? Nah. For me, they're just not even worth having around, because why should they? They should be celebrating your glory, your transformation, your new love, your happiness. Because if they honestly love you, they will love you and support you no matter what. And if your relationship or your move or your new job goes wrong, then they should be there to support you, to pick you up, and not throw it back in your face. That's the important thing about this shift and this change. And the problem is as well, they don't feel comfortable empowering you. Now that's the important thing. Some people are not, they don't feel, I'm a seagull singing. Some people don't feel comfortable empowering other people. Reason is because they don't know how to empower themselves. And when they don't know how to empower themselves is when they're going to find that they are stuck in this situation. And as you're shifting, moving forward, they just find that they can't move forward and be able to understand why you're changing and why things are rapidly growing. And it's as simple as it. Some people don't like for the fact is that when you empower yourself, because it puts you into another state of frequency which they can't level on. And there's a saying in when you're an entrepreneur or coach, is that you should always find people that are one step ahead of you, because that's how you develop, that's how you move forward. And I'm not saying the people that around you don't love you, and if they did love you, they would embrace your change or your shift. And it's not necessarily that you need to sell it to them. You just sometimes need to go out and prove to yourself, and it should hopefully prove to them that what you're doing is right for you. And they will, if they love you, they'll see what's right for your shift. The other thing is people come up with resistance. So what do you do about people's resistance? Reality, nothing. The reality I would say is that you just say to them, okay, I understand where you're coming from, but I would really like to do this, and I would really like your support. But if you can't support me, then just please do not add fuel to my fire, or fuel to this negativity to this, because you don't need this already, because you're in a state of bliss. And remember, every move you do is from God. So everything you're given, especially if you're on a spiritual journey and you're shifting, people need to understand that if you're spiritual. And if you're not spiritual, then this isn't for you, and you may not really understand this. But if you are spiritual and you are on your path of development, then people, you must understand that this is given to you by the universe and by God. And for the fact is that other people will really understand that. So when I found God, and when I found my empowerment, my line within, I call it, people struggled with that, and I came up with a lot of resistance. But if you feel it's right, then you should always move forward. You should always keep striving and bettering yourself, because this is about your journey, nobody else's journey, and they shouldn't be able to put you in a pocket and hold you back, because it's about you developing and advancing yourself moving forward. So, and the other thing is as well, no one knows your personal story. No one knows what's happened behind closed doors when they all disappear at your life and it's late at night and it's like 11 p.m. or 12 p.m. and you're on your own, and whether you're feeling moody or upset, and that's when you start assessing your life. No one knows what's going on up here. Nobody but you and God. So what's important is that that's something I think you should always remember. And don't be, it's not about being arrogant or dismissing everybody else. It's about you understanding why you're doing this and why you're making that change. And I know a lot of people that have made various changes in their life, and a lot of people have not embraced that because they don't like the fact that they've changed, or they've changed their behavior, or they've changed how they their lifestyle. But they don't know that sometimes it could be health reasons, sometimes it could be social reasons, it could be a number of different factors that are causing it. And the final point is, don't stay lonely. Don't, for the sake of other people, just don't stay lonely, because it's just not worth it. People would always try to keep you in a certain part, and they would always try and keep you in a certain part. And what's important is that you don't remain there. You move yourself forward. And for the fact is that when you're lonely, it would lead to other darknesses and loneliness and upset and frustrations. And that's something you shouldn't face on your own. And I don't want you to be able to say, if you need support, talk to somebody. Don't ever feel lonely. And especially if you're shifting and you're changing, you may need to go and see a counselor. You may need to go and see a coach. You may need to talk to your mum, your dad, your sister, your brother, your best friend, but find someone that can support you through it. If you can't, strive for it, stand strong and go for it, because there's a saying, no pain, no gain. And it's not about icing people out, but a lot of people I've known 10 years ago, I don't know today. A few I've known, but my shift has changed, and they haven't been able to embrace my change. And it may be in the next 5 years things will move again, but I just know that if I trust in God, that's my path, and I know where I'm going. He can only benefit me and the people around me. So anyway, my next video. I'll see you in the next video, and I just wanted to share this with you, and I'll see you in the next video. Stay safe, stay blessed, and love for the eternal flame. See you soon.